What's up, Chart Your Trade family? Just have a quick rant for you. I was just listening to a Gary V 365 on Alexa. Alexa, stop. If you just let her go, she starts talking to you if you mention her name. But anyway, so I was listening to this episode of Gary 365, and he was talking about how people would crap on his ideas and tell him that he was a failure when he was growing up, but he just didn't care, and so that put him in this little cocoon, and that when people would try to put him down, it would just bounce off and he was able to do him. And this rang so true with me because it made me remember growing up and what eventually allowed me to begin being successful as a speaker. So when I was growing up, when I was young, I had a very bad speech impediment. I had a lisp, and I would stutter, especially when there was some kind of a public setting. If I needed to get in front of a class, read something, it was bad. And I would get nervous every single time, and that fear would kind of feed on itself with each time that I would need to read in front of class or perform or do something. It would just kind of build on itself, and it lasted for a very long time. When I finally got to high school, we had this thing called Visitation Day, where my high school went to some of the elementary schools to tell them about our high school and to try to encourage them to come to our school. And so I got up in front of the class and I gave my speech. I read it from a piece of paper, and it was okay. It wasn't bad. But then somebody else that I was with got up, gave this tremendous speech, didn't have paper at all, and just gave it from his head, or what I realize now was really just speaking from the heart. And I was blown away by that, and so I thought that, wow, if he could do it, I could do it. And so in the very next school that we went to, I thought that I would do the exact same thing. So I was thinking about what I was going to say. I started saying it, and about 5-10 seconds in, I completely forget what I was going to say. I'm just sitting there in this kind of awkward silence. And then I quickly pull out the paper, start reading the speech, and then I go and I sit down. And as someone that's a sophomore in high school, to have these kids in the 6th grade or 7th grade sitting there kind of laughing at you, that's really, really difficult. And so for a very long time after that, I wanted absolutely nothing to do with talking in public or speaking ever again at one of these things. And then some of my friends encouraged me to do speech and debate, and that I was very resistant at first. Eventually I got over that hurdle, and I started doing those speeches and was still reading off the paper. And what helped me through that too was eventually also saying, okay, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. I'm just going to keep practicing, keep doing what I actually started to enjoy, and just get through it and stop caring what other people thought about me, about my lisp, about my stuttering, about any of the nervousness, right? And for a long time, I finished dead last, but I was still doing it, and I was still practicing, and I was still getting better. And as I was practicing more, and as I was caring about what other people thought about me less, I actually started to perform better and perform better. And by the end of that first year of doing the speech and debate in high school, I actually made it to the state championships. Didn't win, but to be able to actually get to a place where I was able to win in my division and then get to a higher level where I'm competing at the state level, that was amazing. To go from where I was to where I ended up, it had a lot to do with the repetitiveness, putting in the work, being consistent about the work, and not caring about what other people think. And then I'm listening to what Gary said, and it's kind of a similar path, right? Or at least where you stop caring about other people think, where you're doing the consistent effort. And I think that to tie it back into stocks and the market and what we're trying to do here, we need to stop worrying about what other people think, whether it's our friends, family, especially other people on social media, where if we post an idea and they start crapping on our idea, well, what do they know, right? Like, do they really know all the context of why we're doing what we're doing? Take other people's ideas or comments with a grain of salt, good or bad, and try to not care what other people think. Put yourself in that cocoon and be mindful of people that are truly trying to help. If they're truly trying to help, then it should be more of a Q&A, right? To achieve a better understanding, rather than somebody coming to you if you put an idea out there and then they just immediately try to slam it down. That's not helpful to you or to anyone else, really. They're just trying to bolster their own confidence. So I think that this is something that can really help you. Don't care what other people think. You do you. Put in the consistent effort, and that combination is something that will help you get to that next level. I'd be really curious to hear what you thought about this. Leave your comments in the comment section below. If you like this video, always click that thumbs up button. That always helps us. And make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that way you get every single update. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Michael Lamott, the founder of ChartYourTrade.com, and I'll see you again in the next video. Take care. Have a great day.